Primary school children will be returning to school this coming Monday on a phased return basis. And it's been a long time since children were all together in school, since before Christmas. And whilst this is exciting for many, obviously there are still some anxieties that exist. But what I would say is that we know that with all the correct measures in place, both amongst our own homes and our houses and our social lives and within the school setting, that we can mitigate against many of the risks and stop onward spread of COVID-19 as best possible within the school setting. It's really important that if your child has any signs or symptoms of COVID-19 infection, that we don't as parents send them into school. Or indeed, if you're a staff member working and you have signs or symptoms of COVID-19 infection, that you don't attend for school. This is really important to try and keep our school community as safe as possible and make sure as best we can that COVID-19 doesn't come into the facility. I'm sure many of you know by now, but just to refresh, the signs and symptoms of COVID-19 include having a fever, a new onset of a dry cough, a change in your sense of smell or sense of taste. If you have those symptoms, if you're a staff member or your child, if they're attending the school, need to just stay at home, contact your GP and ask for their advice and get a COVID-19 test. So as parents, there's many other things that we can do to also help reinforce and make sure that our school community is safe as possible for all of our children to be able to enjoy their on-site education. Key parts of this are obviously making sure that when we go to school, we don't linger at the school gates. We make sure that if we're on public transport or on school buses, that all the infection prevention control measures are in place and children understand how important it is that they follow recommended advice to them. It's particularly important if we go with them to the school gates that we don't cluster at the school gates and have the normal chat as we would do when we would like to. But it's not safe for us to do that. And the level 5 measures are still all in place, and that applies to us all at the school gates and school setting too. So we would ask that you follow the instructions for your local school and the recommendations that they have in place to make sure the drop-offs and the pickups are as quick as possible and done in the safest way possible, in line with the current national restrictions. It's also really important that although we're returning to on-site education, unfortunately, it doesn't mean we're returning to all the normal bits and pieces that surround school. So this will mean that sort of play dates and friend dates and group activities, they are still currently subject to the level 5 restrictions, and the mixing of households and the mixing of friendship groups outside of the school setting are not still allowed, unfortunately. But it is really important that we follow these restrictions so we can enable the school facilities to be open for the on-site education as our children need.